Hi everyone. So this video is going to be a continuation to my previous video, which is about enneagram correlations with Jungian functions. So, okay, in the previous video, I gave an example of two of my friends who are the same enneagram type but have a different cognition, and I tried showing how the enneagram patterns play out differently through their functions. So the extroverted thinking dominant expressed more of a self-preserving patterns of the 8. It was like a more militant 8. And the extroverted feeling dominant expressed patterns of more of a social 8. Because that's kind of how the pattern plays out through extroverted feeling. Which leads me to my next point, which is that I think that what creates the Enneagram subtypes, the social, self-preserving, sexual subtypes of each Enneagram type, might actually be a consequence of the different expressions of the core kind of Enneagram myths playing out differently through different cognitions, and thus creating these subtypes. So that's for that. Now, okay, I wanted to give a few examples of people who have the same cognition but a different Enneagram type and see the differences or similarities between them. So I'll give a few examples. First example, let's take 3 ENFJs who are different types of Enneagram. So Martin Luther King, ENFJ Enneagram 8, Oprah Winfrey Enneagram 2 or 3, and Jordan Peterson 6 and 1 combination. Now, if you look at these 3 ENFJs, they all have the same cognition. And you can see a similarity between them, and that is that all of them are leaders or mentors or teachers or talk show hosts. So you can see the extroverted feeling being their dominant function. It's their default state. It's how it's their natural state of being, and they express that through articulation and communication with society and trying to make an impact on society. So they all have that in common. At the same time, you can see the differences and how they relate to the Enneagram. So once you take extroverted feeling and you combine it with Enneagram 8, you get a powerful leader. And if you take extroverted feeling and you combine it with Enneagram 3, you get a talk show host. And if you combine it with Enneagram 6, you get an academic ENFJ, because Enneagram 6 is a head type and it's the most theoretical and intellectually oriented type, and likes philosophy and things like that. So you get Jordan Peterson, who also kind of preaches. That's about duty and responsibility and correlates with his Enneagram 1 patterns as well. So you can see similarities based on the functions, but different expressions of that due to Enneagram patterns. Another example. Let's take 2 INFPs. One is Aurora. She's Enneagram 4. And Susan Cain, Enneagram, I think 1. Not sure, but I think. But anyway, she's not a core 4. So, okay, so Aurora, you see introverted feeling being expressed through Enneagram 4 patterns. So you get individuality and uniqueness and aesthetics and artistic expression of her inner subjective feelings and values. Whereas in Susan Cain's case, that's not so much what she's about. Like, she does also share her values, but again, she shares them. And it's not through an artistic expression, it's more like, through writing books and public speaking. It's a different expression of the type. So they have quite a different personality despite the similarity in cognition. one more example. Let's say INFJs. Michael Pierce, who made a video about the enneagram. Actually, I think that was due to my request. Thank you for doing that, Michael, if you're watching this. He said that he's an enneagram 5, and so INFJ, enneagram 5. And then you have Justin Bieber, enneagram 3, INFJ, and I think Leonardo DiCaprio, enneagram 7, not sure, INFJ. And again, you get, I can give more examples. You get different types of INFJs, quite different personalities, despite the similar cognition. And again, that has to do with the functions, with the enneagram, I think. I tend to say things that I think, state them as facts, but that's just because I'm just inclined to do that, but it doesn't actually mean it's a fact. So anyway, it's my theory currently. So I think that, so yeah. But a question I have is, does having the particular enneagram patterns, does that pronounce some of your functions in your psychology? So for example, does Michael Pierce use more introverted thinking than other INFJs in comparison, due to being an enneagram 5, like in comparison to Justin Bieber? Does Justin Bieber use more extroverted sensing or more extroverted feeling functions? Meaning, are those more pronounced in his psychology because he does have them in his function stack? So does he express them more psychologically due to his enneagram patterns? And the answer is I don't know. It seems that sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes it seems that the answer is no. So I'm not really sure, but I'm just kind of bringing that up. That's it for this video, and I'm hoping to make 2 more for this series. And also, if there are any requests, then please, I would love to hear from you.